Hey everyone, Michelle here from Scrappy Soul Sister, and I am here with you today with a process video for Peartree cut files. And so I am going to be using this travel treats, and this was in the June regular release, so it is available. I'll make sure to link it in my description. And I cut it out twice, and I used 110 pound white paper. I think it's Harmony Hues is the name of it. And so I cut it out with the outline, and then I cut it out with the contours removed like that. And so lots of times when I do this, if I don't think I can do a good job of lining this up, I will cut off the lower travel. And so that's probably what I will do here. And what I thought I would do is take my scoreboard and I'm just going to cut strips and glue and score it at the 1/8. So it gives it a little bit of a ridge. And so my title will set up a little bit like so. And so I'll cover all this. I'll need to cut out uh, in between there. Hopefully I don't think that'll be too awful, except for maybe this little piece here that might just stay there. We'll see. And you know, that's the beauty of having the outline. If you don't really feel like cutting all of that out, you can just let the outline of the word define it for you. And so that's my plan. I am doing these two pictures of a couple of tasty treats from Disneyland. And yeah, so let's see what we can come up with. I am going to be using Flower Emporium to do this layout. So there's a little rundown for you. Let's get to work. All right, so I'm pulling, I believe, 5 barcode strips is what I end up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And they are all, approximately a 1/2 inch. And so if I just run some score lines on either side at the 1/8 inch, then that will leave a flat portion of a 1/2 inch. And so I'm going to do that with all 5 of these barcode strips, and I'm sticking primarily to blues and greens. There is a gray in there, kind of as a neutral. And now I'm taking a look at, what order do I want to do these in, and I decide to go with the dark on the outside in the middle and then lighter colors in between. And I'm just using score tape to go ahead and adhere these to my treats cut file that I have there. And now I am just going to cut out some of that overhang. So first I am going to just use my powder tool to make sure that my scissors don't stick too badly. So I get that all cut out. Going to use my glue press here to get my title onto my strips there, and that is pretty much it. That is my title. I really like how that came out. And I just need to glue my centerpieces from our R and my A on there, and then that is complete. And so I am going to add another cut file to this layout. I'm going to use this Vicky Bouton. I love this Flower Emporium paper, and it has a little bit of greens and yellows and blues, but of course is primarily that beautiful blue color. And I have cut out this fairy tale castle as well to go behind my title. And the main, it's obviously Flower Emporium doesn't scream Disneyland, and I didn't really want to use Disney themed paper, particularly since it's more food. It isn't like characters or anything like that. But I did want to bring in some sort of fantasy element, and so that's why I chose to add the castle there. I cut that out of one of the Flower Emporium papers as well. I like that it was a darker color, and I have used that pink paper just to break up those dots just a bit. So now whenever like I think of castle, I always think of fireworks. And so um, these pictures obviously are during the day. And so I'm not going to go hardcore firework, but I have this stencil that is peonies, I believe. But it kind of looks like fireworks in the sky. And so I'm just going to use there I have my translucent uh, texture paste, which I did not mean to grab. I meant to grab my kind of shiny white. This is from Ranger. And so I'm going to do just a couple of the flowers there under the castle. So it kind of looks like fireworks behind it. And I've just used some tape to cover just a few elements because these flowers on this cup file are pretty close together and I don't want to uh, go into another flower by accident. And so I get that all on there and scrape off a few little bits that weren't as intended. And then I'm going to take the cracked pistachio distress ink and then a pink color. I believe it's quiche flamingo, and go ahead and add just a couple more florals. So it has the appearance of fireworks a little bit more in the distance. And so I'm almost done with that. And then I will dry it off camera and be ready to start adhering things to my layout. So there it is. I did trim it down a quarter inch on each side. I'm going to use that cracked pistachio to ink the edges around the perimeter there. And then I'm going to mount it just on white cardstock, like so. And then go ahead and start getting things adhered. And so I'm going to start with the castle. I am going to put double stick foam tape under the spires there so the upper part has just a little bit of dimension, and then my title will go on top of that. And I'm confident enough to go ahead and uh, adhere it down with my ATG glue gun. And so now I'm going to take a look at my photos, figuring out which ones I want more towards the center and which one more towards the side there. And so I'm doing my 70th anniversary gray stuff there in the center. And then my picture of the beverage that is from uh, what is the name of the drink? I can't remember. It's from the Pim bar in California Adventures. So it was very fun. Using some green on either side. I've matted my photos with a darker pink And now I'm taking a look at some of the florals to see which I would like to use in the layout. Now I did take one of the larger floral embellishments with multiple flowers and cut it in half and then layered it so that it would feel a little bit abundant. And I think about using that love round element and decide against it. So I'm just taking a look through the collection for different word sentiments that might help convey the story of this layout. And I think that I'm going to stick with that one that you see on the layout there, though it's going to change spots, but that is, this is where the magic happens, and that seems very appropriate for Disneyland. And I decide to cut that green file element or tear it, and I'm going to use it on either side of my picture so it kind of frames them in. And I'm pretty confident that that is how I want all that to lay out. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that as well. And so one good thing about this layout is there isn't a ton of mixed media, so I can use my ATG gun a bit more than some of my other layouts. And so that's kind of quick and easy. I like that. And then let me see, adding a few more flowers again, looking for ones that kind of have that firework type of appearance to them behind that castle. And I'm just going to check with my P-square ruler and ensure that my picture is straight. And when I do this, I do it against the picture and not against the mat or anything like that. That's just my rule of thumb, at least. So I have a lot of the elements adhered at this point. I have added a few rub-ons. The hearts you see are rub-ons, and then some of the green dots up at the top left. I want to add this little banner flag pennant piece to mirror the ones in the castle. And just going to add a few more pieces up to the top left just to break up those florals a little bit. So a little ticket, a little blue dot that says love it. And then I'm also going to add some paper flowers, that green and a pink one up to the top left there. This is where the magic happens is in place there. And then I've also added a green little little border, I guess, down below my picture. Just to add just a little bit more green there. And then I'm going to add Simple Pleasures, that heart, and another pink dot that says right here, there to the right. And so there is my layout. So thank you everyone for joining me and check out Peartree Cut Files. Have a great day and stay tuned for some close-ups after these splatters. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you.